Hi.
No, this is not number. Who's this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name's Morgan. I'm calling from a software company.
Okay, yeah, this is mom.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to bother you.
No, it's okay. Do you need to talk to
If he's available, I would love to.
He's not here, but your number will come.
Hello, and welcome to the Customer Engagement Lab. We are joined in studio today by a man whose dreadlocks are no longer here, but they live on in the painful memories that haunt him every single day of his life. He's an OG PandaDoc sales rep, which means his stock options are worth way more than mine. It's the king of dry humor and closing deals. It's Reid Anderson in the house. What is up, my man? Woo!
What's up, Travis? Thanks for having me here. Super excited. That's the best intro I've ever received. Not even close.
I'm really excited for you to be here because we need to talk about all things sales calls. I've been creeping on your LinkedIn and all the posts you've made over the last 2 years.
Oof.
And there's a common thread and theme in them about overcoming adversity and the shit you have to put up with in sales, and how to become more effective in cold calling, in demoing, and negotiation. And today we're going to talk about all things sales calls. To kick things off, I actually have a few call recordings that I think will help set the tone for our conversation today. This first one is a cold call recording from one of our own SDRs here at PandaDoc. His name is Chandler, and I'm gonna quickly play it for you, and I'd love to get your instant reaction from it.
All right, let's hear Chandler.
This is Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy. This is Chandler Zombeck here from PandaDoc. I know we've never met personally, but do you have a moment?
Brother, you're calling a CMO at 1:22 in the afternoon without scheduling an appointment on a fucking cold call. Do you think that I'm going to take your call? I'm not trying to be a dick, but do you know how busy I am?
No, I know you're very busy. That's why I asked.
I'm going to take your call for a cold call. It's not. It's like it's 2021, brother. There's so many better ways. I would never even talk to your company now. You don't cold call anymore. It's invasive. It's rude. It's disgusting. It's the cheapest form of unwanted marketing on the planet.
You look like you have something to say before I finish the clip.
Is this Hulk Hogan? The brother. I was like, and then brother. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, wow. I feel sorry for you that you've had to sink to that level in your life to where you're working for a company that markets via cold calling. I feel sorry for you.
That's it. That's a clip.
Did he book the demo?
What do you think, dude? What do you think, brother?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, what's your reaction, man? Has anyone ever talked to you like that on a cold call?
Yeah, I've gotten that. You get those people. My mindset is that they're just having a bad day. Sounds like that guy might be having a bad month or quarter. But yeah, you get those people all the time. And I mean, if anything, you just have to do what we're doing right now, which is laugh at them, make the next dial. There's a million fish in the sea, so don't get hung up on it or anything, which I know Chandler probably didn't. He's probably laughing right now.
Dude, when he sent this to me, I was just like, I don't know how salespeople keep going. Like, I'm so sensitive, man. Like, this would kill me. And the context of that conversation too, that was pretty interesting, was that Chandler told me that he went and looked at their company in a little bit more detail, and they do cold calling. The CMO's so out of touch with his own outreach that his own company is doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been with PandaDoc for 5 years or more, and I talk about this with Patrick a bit about sales, and he felt that there was a shelf life in sales for most people. And I'm just curious, what are some ways that you shake it off? Because you've been doing it for 5 years, and when most of the time, what you're working on just fails over and over again. And in marketing, we do experience failure, but it's not quite as visceral as that, right? We'll spend money and then it doesn't work and then we get yelled at. So how do you keep going? You've been doing this for so long. What motivates you? The money?
The money, for sure. That's at the top of the list. But I think finding humor in everything, just and moving on to the next one. If you mess up, learning from it, that whole cliche, which is 100% true, and then implementing what you just learned on the next call. So I like the fact that you can get so many reps in and you can try different things. If you're on LinkedIn and you see someone's cold call opener and you've never tried it before, being able to literally just do it right away. People like that, not taking it to heart, detach from the outcome. I think that's how, regardless of what department or career or even not in your career, just trying to not take things too personally.
Yeah.
I just assume, I think it can help to assume that people, like anyone I'm talking to today, just got into an accident earlier and they're just in a bad mood. And even if that guy's sister or wife called him, he was going to drop an F-bomb. I think that helps. Just don't take it personal. Like, it's hard to at the beginning when I was an SDR. If I had a call like that, or someone critiqued me or yelled or got angry, you take it very personal. You're just like, oh my God, your world is ending, and your next call, you're thinking twice before you dial, and oh, what am I going to say? And thinking about all the objections, but don't think about it too deeply. Just pick up the phone, make the next dial. And then at the end of the day, sure, you can reflect on it. But I mean, that guy, there's no way you were going to overcome that objection. He was just an asshole. So, those people exist.
This next clip is gonna cleanse the palate for us. It's a little bit nicer. This one actually comes over from our friends over at Chili Piper. Shout out to Morgan and Will who sent this over. Let's listen real quick at this recording, and I'm gonna give you some context afterward.
Hello?
Yes?
Hi.
No, this is not number. Who's this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. My name's Morgan. I'm calling from a software company.
Okay, yeah, this is mom.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry to bother you.
No, it's okay. Do you need to talk to
If he's available, I would love to.
He's not here, but your number will come up, right? And I'll just send him your number.
It should. If it doesn't, you can tell him to reach me at my email.
Okay, just one sec. I'm not real.
So this rep called the prospect, but had the wrong number, and it was actually his mom's number.
Fast at typing stuff in anymore. I've got arthritis in my hand, so.
Oh, no trouble at all.
She's an open book.
Let me just see if I can get something to write on. Okay, so what's your phone number?
My phone number is.
Okay, and your email?
My email is. At chilipiper.com.
You can hear her writing it down with her arthritis hand.
Chili Piper.
She got the name. Wow, that's impressive.
I'm assuming.
It's almost done.
Well, he doesn't know me yet, but I've sent him an email, and I was hoping to connect today.
Okay. Well, let me get this to him. I know he's been pretty busy at work, but let's see what I can do, okay?
Oh, no problem at all. And what was your name?
My name's...
Oh.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So there's also additional context to share with you, which is Morgan told me that he actually did get a hold of the prospect, or actually the prospect got a hold of him.
Called him back.
And berated him via email and was like, don't ever call me or anyone in my family ever again. So if you're wondering about like if cold outreach is effective, and you're like, I need a new method, why don't you try calling somebody's mom and get a hold of them, see how that works.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think of how my mom would react.
I bet the response rate is through the roof though, because if my mom's like, hey, somebody's calling me looking for you, I would probably be like, oh, okay, mom, I guess I'll reach back out. So the response rate's really high, but like the threshold for like them being really pissed off at you
Yeah.
Like, why are you bothering my mom? She has arthritis. Leave her alone.
You made her write down a 7-digit number. You know what happened last time she wrote down 3?
But yeah, so Chili Pepper shared that one with me, which was great. And then this next one is not a cold call, but it is a cold email. And it's from our very own Max Sikwicz, if I'm saying his last name. Sikevich. When he was an SDR a couple years ago here at PandaDoc, he sent out an email. And I'm going to pull the email up here for us to review together. All right, so this is really funny. Let me pull it up here for me to look at too. All right, so let me scroll down a bit and see if I can find the original one. So this is his response. Okay. Hey, Josh. I'm emailing you because I was looking for proven leads within blank. With a quick rise through the ranks, you were hard to miss. Since you're in the sales space, I know blank wants to upgrade how they build proposals. Before, reps would attach a PDF, maybe an e-sign, and send an email hoping to close the deal. Instead of crickets, what if you can track what your client is reading and when? Now with PandaDoc, blank reps can create, send, and sign proposals in minutes instead of hours. Oh, I'm not scrolling for you, my bad, bud. There we go. Since you can track what happens to your proposals, expect a 28% increase in close rates. Is this something that interests you? Best. Max. And then this was the response he got. So everything that's in red was a response from this guy. So he goes, "Hi, Max. Thanks for reaching out to me. I'm not interested in anything you're offering, but a heads up, your email is terrible."
Tell me how you really feel.
Let's examine below. So the first sentence, I'm emailing you because I was looking for proven leaders within blank. With a quick rise through the ranks, you were hard to miss. This guy wrote back, "Did you even look at my LinkedIn? If you did, you'd know I've only worked here for months and was brought in as a director of sales, as this was my position at another events company where I did rise through the ranks."
Okay.
Okay, Josh. The next sentence, since you're in the sales space, I know blank wants to upgrade how they build proposals. You know? Ha ha! You didn't even look at my LinkedIn profile. I know you know absolutely nothing about my company and our sales process. You should try to understand your potential clientele sales processes before assuming anything. Okay? Before reps would attach a PDF, maybe an e-sign, and send an email hoping to close the deal. What the fuck? Think about this. Why would I send an email and hope it closes the deal? This is the dumbest thing I've read all week. I'm not sending proposals to anyone without having an inclination that it's going to close. Why would I do this? It's not a complete and utter waste of time, just like responding to this email. Then why are you doing that? To send a proposal and not having any assurance it will be returned to me. If that's the case, I have no business being in my position, industry, or teaching others how to sell products in the first place. I'm not in the business of sending proposal emails and hoping the business sticks. Instead of crickets, he didn't respond to that section. He just wrote, the only other thing he responded to then was, "Is this something that interests you?" No. And then he did respond to this. He wrote, "You have in your own executive summary, I firmly believe improving your personal life and growing your career comes down to paying attention to the small details that clearly shows in not only my personal life, but also all of the work that I continue to do." Yeah, that clearly wasn't demonstrated here today, Max. You should probably remove this or reevaluate your stance. Seems as if you don't even follow your own rules, as you didn't pay attention to any details before sending me this email. It's quite obvious you're fishing for leads and solely relying on a spray and pray sales marketing method. Here's some advice. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, innovator, risk taker, again, this is from your LinkedIn, take the time to attack your target audience by personalizing your approach and actually doing some research. That's what people want and who they will buy from. You have no idea what my needs are or even my background. Come on, this is absolutely pathetic, and you shouldn't be ashamed, and you should be ashamed of the lack of research and lack of attention to detail. Josh. So I asked Max, how did you react to this? And he was like, it's stuck with me for a while, And it was like, he's like, it did teach me actually like a couple things that were pretty useful. But, and I told him, I was like, I'm too sensitive. Like, this would have ruined me. And I was like, it would have made me want to quit. And he was like, man, you just, over time, you develop like a thick skin.
Yeah.
And you just learn to laugh at stuff like this. Like, this guy took the time.
Yeah.
To write like such thorough responses, like section by section, that I was like, holy shit, this is hilarious. And and he's like, yeah, but I just like, I don't know. He was like, there was actually some good advice in there. And I was
For
like,
sure. Yeah. Well, especially, did I read correctly at the top that this was Max's first month? Okay.
Yeah.
Literally my first month in sales, I got this response. Ha ha ha. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the gentleman who responded, he made some mention to like wasting your time or something, and then he provides a novel response to an SDR email. I feel like he just got chewed out by his boss, and now he feels the need to chew someone else out, which there was valid feedback in there for sure.
Yeah.
But wow, that was a lot.
yeah, like maybe Max, again, this was years ago before we even had a sales enablement team that was helping to create templates that reps could personalize their email cadences on. They'd actually go and do some research. So completely different from how we're doing things now. But yeah, just shout out to Max.
I mean, it was better than a not interested response. Usually when people aren't interested, they're just like, take me off your list. Not interested. I love this. It like probably Max didn't have to take his afternoon walk to refresh his mind. He just read this, boom, on to the next one. So
good for you, Max. What goes through your mind when you get these kinds of reactions? Like, is this something that you yourself need to reflect on? Like, do you get responses like this still as an AE sometimes?
Yeah, because we do our own prospecting and stuff. It's not completely inbound or SDR driven, but I think it's important to not. You don't want to laugh at it too much because there were more than grains of truth inside his response and valuable feedback, especially for someone who was just starting out. And Max can take that, implement it himself, share it with people as his manager, and then they can what points were good, what points were funny, what points were immaterial to anything. So yeah, I get responses like that. I prefer them more to someone who's ambivalent
Or just ghosting you?
Or just no response. Yeah, the worst thing to me for sales, but really anything, is apathy. Like, give me some strong emotion. Give me really passionately positive or really, really negative. I could deal with both of those because you know what? If their proposal process starts to suck and this guy isn't going to be apathetic about it. So maybe he'll remember Max and be like, you know what? That one SDR who I chewed out. Yeah, I'm gonna reach back out to him, and like that's just the word. Apathy kills everything. You want something. So maybe right now, he's not doing too hot. He's having a bad day, or he's a very passionate person. You could tell.
Yeah.
So I prefer that over not interested or crickets.
I'm guilty of like, if I'm really not interested, I just don't. I have people on my LinkedIn who have messaged me like probably close to 8 to 12 times. And I'm just like, no, I'm not giving you even anything.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Me too. I'm not going to, if you respond to everybody, then
you have no time left in the day, dude.
No time left in the day for work or personal or anything. Yeah. Just because there's so many. But I mean, that was next level. Wow.
All right. So for the last segment of what I want to cover with you is cold Facetiming. You ready to talk about it?
I think so.
I've got some clips to show you. There was a lot of chatter in the last couple of weeks about cold Facetiming. And
sure was.
Some people were creating some content that was just cracking me up about sales reps that are using FaceTime to conduct cold outreach. And this is a video from Tyler Lessard over at Vidyard and the horrors of cold FaceTiming. Shout out to Tyler, big fan. All right, so this was also, I think, on Halloween or Halloween themed.
us! Well, why did you give them your own contact info? Let me help you with your fourth quarter game!
The sales and marketing zombies are You need to stay in your products' lanes.
Why can't people do business like human beings anymore? You're all just a bunch of zombies!
I can show you several marketing campaigns.
We don't even need that company! No! Plus, your emails kind of suck. You said owning a business would be fun.
It's like they're not even listening to us.
Maybe I can help.
The guy's glasses.
Hey, I'm George. I'm not like those zombies. I want to listen to you and see if I can help.
Finally, a human being we can talk to.
Thank you for actually listening.
Be helpful, be human, don't cold FaceTime your prospects. So for those that are just listening and aren't able to watch this, go check out Tyler Lassard's video that he put out on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago about cold FaceTiming and the sales and marketing zombies. This was bravo to their team. This was really well done.
Really well done. Wow. And they just made that video, because it was a hot topic.
1 week ago. This message is brought to you by real humans everywhere who are just trying to do their jobs and live their lives and may not be looking to buy what you have just because you need to sell it. Cold email, check. Cold video, check. Cold phone, check. Cold social, check. Cold FaceTime, skull emoji. Cold beer, check. Cold brew, check. All right, and then I've got one other clip I want to show you, and then let's dive into talking about cold FaceTiming. This one is from Brian Montoya, which also just like such a badass name. Like,
oh my gosh.
Brian Montoya.
Montoya.
Let me get this one ready. And this was a TikTok I think you'll enjoy. So this says, incoming FaceTime, he's sitting outside on his patio, and he's just working on his laptop. Unknown caller. And then it says, the caption says, who the fuck is FaceTiming me? And then it's him throwing his phone against a brick wall that says, hi, this is a cold call. Want to roll the dice or hang up? By the way, I would want to roll the dice every time if that was somebody's open. I'd be like, sure, man, give me your pitch, bro.
Right. I mean, it takes some cojones to do that.
My stance on this is I think cold calling is actually genius if it works. It's really not that different from cold calling. I think so. It's a pattern interrupt, and if it works, that's awesome. And if someone gets really offended by it, then they're likely to not respond.
Right.
Or they're these people that you and I were just talking about with the response to Max's email, or just, the CMO that kind of tore Chandler a new one there.
Yeah.
So they're just likely to go off on the sales rep, which is kind of hilarious. So, what's your stance? What are your thoughts on all of this chatter about cold FaceTiming? Are you diametrically opposed to my thought?
No, not at all. I mean, one, it was like amusing. Well, not amusing. I don't want to trivialize it too much, but there was some very passionate people on both sides where it kind of blew up on LinkedIn, and there are the people who are just like, no, this is a bridge too far. This is different from cold calling because there's a video component to it. And then there were people who were just all about the innovation and, hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, all right, then just don't do it. I think that's my attitude towards it.
Yeah.
Do what works. So if it works for you, like, it would be one thing if FaceTiming, because you don't have to accept the call.
No.
And they can't see you until you accept the call.
Correct.
So if FaceTiming was without consent had video of what that person was doing at the time, yeah, completely.
Of course.
We'd have bigger problems. Apple would be in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that, so they can reject it, and I think
It's funny though, because even when somebody I know FaceTimes me, I have a moment when I see it and I'm like, fuck. Because I'm like, what am I wearing?
Right.
Like, am I naked right now? Like,
you just ate, you might have stuff in your teeth.
yeah.
For sure.
Even if it's a family member, I'm just like, shit. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there something in the background that shouldn't be? Or like,
Right.
I need to like compose myself. Like,
So maybe this phenomenon of cold FaceTime will force us all to become just better put together, more hygienic. We're brushing our teeth constantly, flossing. But I think it's also, I mean, SDRs are doing this mostly. As an account executive, video helps a lot. So on Zoom calls, I always have my video on because we don't do in-person meetings. And I just think it's way better than having my LinkedIn photo up. So you're talking to you forget that if you don't have the video on. So the fact that SDRs can now use video to help them, if they have if they're well put together.
Dude, the next thing
image,
is cold Zoom calling.
You just get a little email like, "Are you ready to join the meeting?" Yeah. I mean, but if you have it, like if that's gonna work for you, if you're really put together, you put effort into that, and someone's like, "Okay, this doesn't look like some hobo off the street," and they accept it, that works for you. If you got it, flaunt it. If you don't, you can just keep cold calling. I don't know. That's my attitude.
I like your attitude. And the last thing I want to show you is that we actually had somebody here at PandaDoc who was able to book a meeting using cold FaceTiming. And I have a quick clip, with all the poo-pooing on cold FaceTiming, one of our SDRs actually was able to book a meeting by attempting a cold FaceTime call. And here is the story from Alex Nelson. He explained how it all went down.
So I get a Slack from Jed, and the Slack is a screenshot of a post from Sean, from this VP of Sales, who essentially says 6 or 7 cold calls today, 0 cold FaceTimes. Jed says, "You got to do this, bro," as a joke. To me, I'm just like, all right, if I don't do this, nobody's going to do it. So I got to do it. Anyway, I went ahead and I FaceTimed him, and he didn't pick up the first time. So I sent him this text like, "Hey, I'm the weirdo that actually FaceTimed you after seeing that post." Right after sending that text, he FaceTimes me back, and I answer the call, but it has trouble connecting. It says the connecting dot, and anyway, the call failed. We tried each other 3 or 4 times total. So he called me, I called him, and then essentially he sends me a text like, "Hey, tell Jed that you guys need to get off T-Mobile, and also send me an invite for December 15th or something." It was awesome, but unfortunately, I can't say we got on the FaceTime together that time.
All right, Alex.
Way to go, Alex.
Awesome job, dude. For all the people poo-pooing on it, it actually worked.
Yeah. Even though they didn't get on. I bet.
He didn't even get on because they were trying.
I bet if they had, it was just the back and forth, T-Mobile's fault or Verizon or something. But I bet if they had gotten on, it would have been, the ending to the call would have been one of those, "No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up." I feel like that's where it was going. Wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, man, any final thoughts on that you want to give our audience about just like staying strong in sales and marketing and I mean, again, you've stayed here 5 years. I'm sure you've been tempted to go do something else in those 5 years, to just give up. So what's keeping you that you want to share with everybody else besides those big stock options?
Put those to the side. Two things. One, if you're an SDR, keeping the longer term in mind. So you can get bogged down, and it can feel like, oh, I don't want to keep doing this, waking up doing the same thing over and over. But having a long term in mind, like having a goal actually, so that you have something that you're aiming at, and just trying new things all the time. That's the fun part, getting to experiment. Like if you have some you can have a script, but you can make little changes to it, and you don't have to go by the script. Implement new things. I'm constantly on LinkedIn. There's so much advice, almost too much advice, that you can just constantly try new things every day. You know, a lot of people are working remote as much as possible. Try to have, you know, if you have a Slack, I know we have a Slack channel for our outbound SDRs, for example, and they share recordings, share their wins, ask advice. So try to mimic the office environment as much as possible. The learning by osmosis, that'll be easier that way.
Oh,
and
the last thing I wanted to tell you, in the spirit of what you just said, I was talking with one of our SDRs here, and she said that for camaraderie, they will open up a Zoom call, and there'll be a couple people just sitting on it silently. Everyone's on mute, but they're all listening to each other make cold calls as if they're in the office. And I was like, holy shit, that's brilliant. So for anybody out there who's like made it all the way to the end of this episode, shout out to Haley and the SDR team here for giving each other like that boost that they need and that comfort. Just knowing that like if you do get chewed out or you do get yelled at or you just get like, 40 dials in a row that nobody picks up on, you've got somebody there like for emotional support, kind of like silently in the background watching you struggle.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but whatever it is, just the little things where you hop off a call and you're just like, oh, that's funny. This guy said this, or this person, this woman had like a funny accent or whatever it is, just sharing those little things. Yeah. So if you're, working remote alone in your apartment or something, it can get old if you're doing that. So having an easy way to share those things. And then, other advice, just have fun. It's cliche, but if you're not having fun, like you're probably doing something wrong. Maybe you are in the wrong line of work. The wrong line of work. Yeah, I got that right.
You got it right, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, but I never thought, and I think most salespeople would probably have the same background. Like I never thought I was going to be in sales. So I think giving it a fair shake too. Yeah. Not exiting too early. If you're going to try it, like put in the time. There's going to be some rough stretches. There's going to be rough stretches anything. Yeah. But yeah, giving it the time, and now I love it. I never thought, if you had asked 12-year-old me, you're going to be in sales and you're going to love it, I would have been like, what went wrong? Nothing. In fact, everything went right.
I think the thing that Patrick has said that I see in you too that sticks with me is just like the rush that you get. It's like it's high stakes, and like this idea that you were talking about, like keeping it fresh. I do the same thing with the marketing side of it. It's just like I'm always trying to come up with new stuff, keeping it fresh and taking big swings, and the risk and the rush I get from people being like, oh my God, dude, you can't do that. Or like, and most of the time people are not like that. They're like, that was crazy, great job. Yeah. I think that's key for the longevity of what you're talking about.
Yeah, and the little wins too. So, I close deals. So, but I'm not, when I have a good day, it's not just because I closed a deal. Like some of my best days recently have been, there haven't been any deals closed. It was just I advanced a deal, or one little 30-second snippet of a call, something happened, then I'm just like, oh, that went perfectly. Or so, yeah, just don't miss the forest for the trees. But also like pay attention to the small stuff. And if it's a good thing, share it with other people. And if it's a bad thing, just water off your back. On to the next one.
Reid, my man, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Travis.
I want to have you.
It was a pleasure.
Coming back.
Oh, for sure.
And thanks everybody for listening. Customer Engagement Lab. We got 2 more episodes left in this season. Next up will be John Adams, who's a principal engineer over at Fanatics, the sports memorabilia company. And then after that is our own director of brand, Jack Schonkweiler. And we'll be having some fun talking about how to sell to engineers, how to sell to people that are brand directors, and lots of good stuff. So thanks everybody. Tune in and see you next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us today on the Customer Engagement Lab. For more of Travis and Patrick's chaotic energy, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you would make our hearts smile if you left a super quick rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the show deserves. It'll take you 2 seconds, I promise. Till next time.